Yo, what is good, boys? I've had a few requests to pretty much explain how contracts work with futures. And so I'm going to go over NASDAQ and I'm going to go over ES. So, getting straight into it, we have the NQ contract, which is minis, okay? So, let me actually make these a little bit bigger. So, these are minis, right? Minis for NASDAQ is $20 a point, okay? So $20 a point for NASDAQ per point. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you want to risk $500 on, let's not go over that real quick. Okay, let's just say I'm taking this short, 43 points, okay? You would do 43 times 20, okay? 43 times 20. So you would enter in the trade one mini shorts, risking $860, right? So you would do dollar per point, which is 20 for NASDAQ for a mini, times the amount of points in your stop loss right here, which is 43.5. Okay. But the MNQ contract, which is micros, is $2 a point. Okay, and the reason why I trade micros more than minis is because you can be a lot more exact with how much you want to risk. So every single trade on my eval, I want to risk anywhere from $900 to $1,000. Okay, right? So I could do NQ, but let's just say my number is crazy. Like let's just say I have a 60-point stop loss, right? So let's just say my stop loss is 60 points. Okay, and I want to risk around $900. Let's just say $900. Okay, for minis, I would do 60 times 20. So for one mini, which is the least you can do for a mini, is one mini, the least I can risk is $1,200. Okay, so right here I would have to do MNQ contracts, right? If I want to lower that down to $900, I would have to do MNQ. So one micro, $2 a point, so it would be 60 point stop loss, right? Times $2 a point. So there is, so I would do, maybe let's just try 4 contracts. Let's just do 4 micros. And obviously four contracts times $2 a point is $8 a point for 4 contracts with the MNQ, if that makes any sense. Hope it does. Times 8. Okay, so 60 times 8, that would be risking $480. Okay, so now let's just try 8 contracts, right? So, or let's just do 6. Okay, so 6 again, I would do for MNQ, I would do 6 contracts times $2 a point. That would be $12 a point, right? So $12 a point times 60 points for my stop loss. That is $720 risk. Okay, so now let's just do, and this is kind of how you can learn how to gauge it. Over time, you'll get used to it. You'll learn how to gauge it correctly. But yeah, so that was 6 contracts. So now I'm gonna try 8 contracts. So obviously 8 times 2 is 16. So 16 times 60. All right, that is perfectly $960. So around that area. And that's perfect. That's what I want to risk. So right there, I would risk 8 contracts. And again, you would get used to it over time, kind of guessing, okay, it would be around probably 6 contracts, around 4 contracts. And then if it's a little bit less or a little bit more, you can, up the contract size by 1 or 2 or, go from there. But it's pretty simple. It's the same thing for ES, like kind of the same way you gauge it. But ES is $50 a point. Right, and MES, which is the micro, that is $5 a point. Okay, so let's just go over a few examples. Let's just say I want to risk $800 on my eval. All right, I'm gonna take this short off this inversion. My stop loss would be at this high, targeting this low down here. Okay, for a solid 1.4 hour. Okay, so that'll be 60 point stop. I would just round it up, 60 point stop. Okay, well, it's the same thing as earlier. I would do the same thing. Let me just try to find something different. Let's say I don't know. I long this for rally gap right here. Entry right there. Stop loss around this area right here. Targeting, I don't know this high, 1R, I guess. Right. Stop loss would be 55 points. Why are they all 55 points? What the fuck? Okay, let's just say it right here. Okay, I'm shorting off this for rally gap. This is a trade that I missed today. Shorting off this for rally gap. That's a 30-point stop loss. Okay, so you could do. Okay, so this is where it kind of gets tricky with the minis. This is why I mostly do not use minis, because it's very hard to work around a specific risk. So right here for one mini on this trade, that would be $600 risk. But if I'm trying to risk $800, I can't do that, because if I add another mini to that, if I do two minis, that'll be $40 a point times what? 30. I'd be over risking $1,200. Okay, so you can't do that. But for the micros, if I'm trying to risk again $800, $900, it'll be 30. Let's just try 6 micros, which is $12 a point. Okay, so times 12, 360 now. 30. I'm tripping. Times, let's do 24 let's just do 12 contracts, which is $24 a point. $720. Okay, so $30 times 26, which is 13 contracts. That's $800. Okay, so that's how you can kind of work around if you're over risking or under risking too much. That's why I use micros, because you can get a lot more precise risk on your trades. If y'all have any more questions about this, because it is kind of confusing at first, let me know. But I mean, I think on TradingView you can double click this and it will like pull up a thing. I don't know if it works on here or not. I've never really used this, but there is kind of like a position where you can say how much you want to risk and all that. But I think it's a lot easier to just do the math on your phone or a calculator and just do the quick math real quick. It only takes me 5 seconds. Yes, it takes some time to get used to, but it really takes 5 seconds to calculate your risk. So, yeah, if y'all have any more questions, leave them in the comments section. And if y'all want to join in the Discord, that will be left in the description as well. Hopefully this was insightful, and I'll see you on boys next time. Peace out.